Okay, so we used the paint node to do some tracking and cleanup. We used the 2D transform to do some tracking and cleanup with the addition of the paint node. Now we're going to use some source nodes, and I'll show you two different ways, a very old school way and a more refreshed, newer way using a matchbox. So same problem exists. We have our clip, we have our tracker, this mark that we want to remove. So what can we do? Well, there's a few things. So we can, let's say, go into our Gmask tracer, hit space G to draw a new mask, and I'm just going to make it about the area that covers the tracker with a little bit of bleed. The U key will break these or make the auto tangent. The B key will break the tangent, and I can just go back and forth if I need to kind of create a nice little circle. I could have drawn a circle also. Okay, going to enter the tracker. We've now seen the tracker. It's the same module, just inside the garbage mask as it was in the 2D transform. I'm going to enter the tracker, and as you can see, the search area is already defined by where I had the garbage mask drawn. That's kind of nice. I just want to analyze this forward, and now our circle is tracked throughout the shot. I might make a little adjustment just because there's a little bit of a scale change as the shot pulls away from us. So I'm just going to refine this a little bit, make it a little bit smaller over time, just the first frame to the last frame. Make it a little bit bigger to start. So now I've just set 2 keyframes for this garbage mask, and basically we just have a circle. And that's perfect. So what can we do with this? Well, I want to be able to move the footage within that mask, and there's a few ways we can do it, but the easiest way is to pull up our source node or source matchbox. Oops. If you ever need to separate out a node that got positioned where you didn't want it, it's the Alt and Meta key. So if I use Shift to kiss it into a pipe, I can use Alt and Meta to expand it and get it out of there. So now I want to have my front connected to the red input, which is the front. We don't use the green, which is the background, and the blue is the alpha. So we're going to connect that. I'll hit F4 in the source node to get the result view. I'm going to turn off auto key. And from here, it's pretty simple. We're going to be moving the footage within just the garbage mask. So when I take this front position and I move it in the Y or X or whatever direction I go, we are revealing that footage through that mask. So now I have a nice little slice right there. I can see that maybe we want to feather this a little bit. So if that's the case, and I is the key that turns on and off the icons. You'll see me do that a lot. So that's just the I key. So to put the softness on here, I'm going to go into the add mode, which is A. You can see it says add points. And then if I hold down the shift key and drag outside of in any direction, I am creating softness. So now we have a little bit of softness. I can hit F4 to see the result. What you might notice sometimes is a hard edge that comes from your gradient. One way you can kind of reduce that is just by increasing the blur. So if I blur it enough, you'll see that that kind of edge is going to be reduced. You might not see it on the compression. So now we're in the source node again. F1 to show my front view, F4 for my result view, and now I am just playing back the sequence just to check it. And that looks that looks great. I mean, what's nice about this, just like painting, just like anything, you want to try to use the footage and not have to destroy anything or kind of freeze frame anything that you don't need to. So this is really nice that I'm able to sample from the footage itself and just slide it over. And again, I'm not really affecting any of the other pixels, so I'm not taking a filtering hit on this, doing it this way. Now, for some reason, if you want to feel like you're old school, then we can do the same operation using the same methodology, just a different name for the source node itself. This one is in action. You can use this Matchbox source in action as well, but I'm not going to cover that. So I'll hit Control N and drag out a new input. Since we already did the garbage mask, I'll leave it. And right now we have basically an image that is just our tracker. So I'm just turning the background off and on. But we don't want to touch this because I don't want to move this axis or anything like that. It will make what I'm doing problematic. So to be honest, it might be easier if we just remove it altogether so you have no ability to actually move that image. From here, in the node bin, I want to look for something called source front. And as you can see, it comes with a few different axes, and it comes with some options that we don't need right now. We're not going to go over. This is very simple. I just want to use this axis, and from here, it's going to do exactly what it did in this node right here. If I am in this axis, I'm basically moving the front of the image through this little hole, which is where our alpha is. So if I slide up on the axes, I am moving this footage through this hole. Let's see. This is another way we can see it in the F6 view. This is actually our source front moving in that view window. So back to F4, I've moved it to where I like it, and now I can just hit enter to play it back, check it out, and see that, I didn't have it. Let's make sure I didn't have it in very good position, but now you see that it's sticking and sticking quite well. So that's a third way to kind of do a simple tracker remove. And I think I have at least one or two left in me, so stay tuned for more. Thank you. Bye.